Hello, my name is Amy Thomas. This is my lesson plan for through 6. Um, Once again, my Common Core standard is consult reference materials, both print and digital, to find the pronunciation of a word and determine or clarify its precise meaning or its part of speech. And I have another Common Core standard, which is use relationship between particular words to better understand each of the words. This is for 5th grade English. Now scroll down to step 4 in the lesson plan, activities. What activity have you planned? Introduction and modeling. I will hand out to each student a dictionary and a thesaurus. I will tell the students that today we will be looking up words with these books, which are reference materials. I will explain that with these books, the students will find the correct spelling, find the pronunciation of the word, what the word means, what part of speech it is, and find the synonyms and antonyms for the word. I will model this by showing the students with the computer using an online dictionary where to find this information so they can do it on their own. For the guided practice, this is when the students are in their small groups. They will be given a list of words or guide words. The small group will discuss in a circle once they find their word, and students read out loud the meaning, spelling, and syllable pronunciation of each word. And in the whole group discussion, we're going to have an activity where there will be a race with a timer, and I will ask the students to look up a word, look at the synonyms and antonyms, and then close the book. The students will get to look at the different words, and then I will ask, once the book is closed, to list as many synonyms or antonyms as they can without looking for that particular word. For the independent practice, I will give the students a worksheet for extra practice, which will consist of putting words in alphabetical order, looking up a word and answering questions about it, and dividing words into syllables. I will walk around and help the students and to check their work. To close the activity, I will discuss in a summary everything we can use a dictionary and thesaurus for and why it is important. I will then ask the class if they have any questions about the activities or the worksheet. And the formative assessment, the students will take a take-home quiz that will be similar to the worksheet they did in class. I have chosen these activities because the student will be able to show their understanding and comprehension of the objective by completing these activities. During the guided practice and independent practice, the students will be able to demonstrate how to look up words to determine the information to learn about the word. The formative assessment will determine if the students have mastered this lesson. The step 5 of the lesson plan is materials. The materials that I used for this lesson plan is a dictionary, thesaurus, worksheet, a pencil, and timer. I have chosen these materials because these materials will best accommodate student learning toward the objective. The reference materials will be used throughout the lesson, and the overall learning goal is for the students to use the material to find the information out about the word and use the relationship of the word to better understand each of the words. I will use the dictionary and thesaurus for the students to have as their own for the lesson. Students will need the worksheet I provide to test them on their knowledge and a pencil to do their work. I will use a timer for an activity the students will participate in to learn synonyms and antonyms. And the last step of the lesson plan is evaluation. How and when do you plan to evaluate student learning on the content of this lesson? Now, throughout the entire lesson, I will constantly be using formative assessment through teacher observation and questioning. I will evaluate how the students are working in their small groups, have group discussions, and how actively involved they are in our activity for the lesson as a class. At the end of the lesson, I plan to evaluate the student learning on the content of the lesson by the worksheets which I provide, with various questions a dictionary and thesaurus can answer. I will use the evaluation to determine where my students stand in their ability to follow directions, work in small groups, participate in the classroom activity, and master the assessment provided. I chose this approach for evaluation because I am able to determine whether or not my student will fully be able to consult reference materials for such uses like find the pronunciation of a word, or determine or clarify its precise meaning or its part of speech, and to use the relationship between particular words. These would be the synonyms and the antonyms to better understand each of the word or the opposite of the word. This lesson will teach students where to go when they need another word when writing a paper, how to sound out a word, and determine whether the word is an adjective or a noun. By the students completing the worksheets provided, I will be able to determine if the students can independently provide me with this information. And that will conclude the lesson plan. Thank you very much.